Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Chicago. How you doing here? So it's a little windy today. We got May the 3rd, 2025 here. We got 82 degrees. So Chris, thanks for tuning in here. You know where we're at here. Yeah, I usually don't head to Streeterville. Well, sometimes when we go to Navy Pier, we head to Streeterville, but the reason I'm heading up there today at lunch instead of heading into the Loop or Millennium Park or anything like that is they're filming, you know, the website says it's something called Ultraviolet. That might be a code name for some other movie, but we noticed last night when we walked home on TikTok, they're filming some major production there. I think they're using the Allerton Hotel, so we're going to head up in that general direction. Maybe we'll catch the water jet there at the Centennial Fountain there. Of course, we're heading up Michigan Avenue. If you just joined, this is Chicago. June the 3rd, 2025. Did I say May at the beginning? I can't even keep track of the date here, but we got, we're about the noon hour here and 82 degrees. We have an amazingly warm day here, which is great, but it's windy. The wind's picking up there. There's the Mather Tower there, the London House there. Hey, Crumble Cookie, Fannie Mae. We went by the Blackhawk store here. We're at Wacker in Michigan. Get this nice view here. But hey, Michael and really Julie Reed there. Krista, how you doing there? Stephanie, Ernie, thanks for being on there. How you doing there? Yeah, I saw you were streaming yesterday, I think, and I don't know, today I saw Edwin was streaming. Even Nick, people messed me, but he didn't. I didn't see him streaming. So, but here we'll head. We'll head to the right here. We'll head towards the Centennial Fountain here. We got 11:59. So we'll see if we can catch. We might not catch the beginning of it, but when we get to Columbus there, we should see it on. So hey, look at this great view. You get to the Wrigley and the Tribune there. We'll head by the Chicago River here, Michigan Avenue Bridge. There's the shoreline. There's NBC Tower, the Sheraton Lowe's, Hyatt Regency, Swiss Hotel, and the St. Regis Chicago Architecture Center. See how they got the scale models, Petronas Towers there. This big tall, that was the mile-high skyscraper that Franklin Wright designed, but it was never built. There's the scale model of the Sears Tower. And you see how much taller it is than the Chrysler Building in New York City. That scale models there. But hey, what a beautiful day here. Check out the skyline and the river here. Yeah, Jason, how you doing there? Ocon. Yeah, it's a horrible concrete hell. Yeah, this horrible concrete hell. How can we stand to live here by the lake here? All our beautiful beaches and lakefront parks, and eat your heart out there. Yeah, we're living it up here in hell. Welcome to hell. This is hell. You're exactly right. I never thought of this as being hell, but maybe that's why this tower's here. It's this horrible. Why would the president invest his capital in hell? There's the water. Hey, they're clapping for you there. See, they're clapping in hell. Someone in the comments that just cracks me up. So here we'll just see this woman's enjoying herself. There's the water cannon. There it is, shooting a jet of water here. 82 degrees here. Yeah, the taco tower. There it is. Trump always chickens out. There you go. So, and we could probably add Musk to that as well, because he's going back with his tail between his legs. He has to manage his money, he's losing his own money and the government's at the same time. How is that even possible? But here, there's Sheraton Hotel. There's the NBC Tower. And here, that Wendella boat must have had under. There's the Centennial Fountain water cannon there shooting across the river there. We'll catch it. Yeah, I was I'm out of shape. I'm trying to get, I was running, and I wasn't really running. I was trying to walk fast to catch this Centennial Fountain here. So, you're kind of creeping me out there, how much people pay so much attention to every freaking thing I do here. If I'm breathing hard, yeah, I'm breathing hard for you. Yay. So how you doing there? Welcome to the Chicago River here. Here's the Columbus Drive. People creep me out in the comments. People talk about the creepiest things, but not the lunch bunch. Lunch bunch, you guys are great. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, thanks for tuning in here. We'll check out the, we'll head down these steps here. We'll head into Streeterville. Hey, if you look this way, hey, here comes the Chicago Fire Department, the squad. Yeah, it's a scuba squad there. Look at, there's the equipment there. There comes the, yeah, the squad number 1 there. Hey, look at this water cannon. Yeah, it's just Illinois. People has to, they're like, the Chicago part of America, and it's usually Americans that ask that. It shows you how dumb our education system is. They don't know what state Chicago's in. Most people from across the world, they know more than Americans. And if it's somebody bashing Chicago, I bet you 9 out of 10 it's another American bashing Chicago. We bash our own country. Who taught us how to do that? Who taught us how to bash our own country? This guy told us how to bash our own country. But you can't bash him. He's too thin-skinned. He can't take any criticism. He can't joke about himself. I can joke about myself. I can laugh at myself. I'm laughing at myself right now. I need to not take myself so seriously. We need to not take this platform so seriously, and I need to not take the comments so seriously, because most people are just joking. They're just trying to make conversation. I hear you. Here, lower whacker. You ever see the Blues Brothers? And here we'll head across the Columbus Bridge here. So you can rent some kayaks there. Yeah, this thing goes for 5 full minutes. We'll get a good view of it as we head across the Columbus Bridge here. So we're trying to get around the bridge house here so we can show it here. There it is. There's the Centennial Fountain water jet going across the river there. Hey, Zoom Patrol there. That's where we're heading there. They're filming for a movie here. They said it was ultra. Oops. There, people are taking pictures here. So let me get by here. There we go. Good. There's the Centennial Fountain there. They got a nice view. Yeah, so we did Navy Pier last week. I took more time to get there. We're not going to go to Navy Pier today. Thanks for the good advice. I appreciate it. And yeah, there's several ways to get there. But sometimes we go along the Ogden slip. But hey, the kayakers are waiting there. It's probably, kayakers don't want to go underneath there. There's the Centennial Fountain water jet there. Hey, we'll keep on going there. There's the St. Regis. Very nice here. We're by the Sheridan Hotel. Okay, now I'll calm down and relax. I just wanted to rush over here before I missed the fountain. That's why I was breathing hard. Chicago Fire wants to build a new stadium. Yeah. So, Ernie, you know what I feel about new stadiums. I'm okay with them building a new stadium as long as they don't ask the taxpayers for it. Same with the Bears. I got to be consistent. If I don't want the Bears or Jerry Reinsdorf with the White Sox begging, billionaires begging for money for their stadiums, and NFL begging for money. You know, so Chicago Fire, they had there's currently, you know, I went to it. Where's it's out by Stickney, or where's it's on the other side of Midway Airport. It's outside the city of Chicago limits there. They built that Toyota Park. You remember that? I've actually watched Chicago Fire games there. Remember the Ultra fans. And now they're at Soldier Field. I guess since the Bears are leaving Soldier Field and abandoning Chicago, that to get their precious profits for a Super Bowl there and make a casino in Arlington Heights. It'll be a casino with a football stadium attached to it. That the Chicago Fire have to move out of Soldier Field because they're probably going to dismantle the upper deck there. So yeah, well, thanks for the good information, Ernie. I appreciate it. You just passed on the information. I'll look into it, and that's great. Ernie always feeds me with good information, as does a lot of people here in the lunch bunch. And see, here's where there used to be this clock. There used to be a clock right here. And see how it says 12, 3, 6. She's sitting on the 6. That's the 9. They used to have arms. You could see it from if you were up in these high-rises like the Lowe's Hotel. You could look down and see it. But I think the arms were removed even before that hotel was built. I've been here. Remember when the arms were still on the clock here. But Yeah, if you just joined with Chicago, we're going to head down to Streeterville. We'll head up to Ontario, and then we'll go try to check out this filming location here. There's the side of the Tribune, the Intercontinental Hotel. There's the Omni signature. The Three Michael Tears. I like that. Yeah, thanks for singing the songs there, Julie. How you doing there? Yeah, how you doing there, Manuel? I missed some people in the chat here. Yeah. So I think I just told you how I feel about the Bears moving to Arlington Heights. I have serious beefs with the NFL. This is deeper than just my, you know, I'll still root for Chicago because they're the Bears, you know, and I root for Chicago, not the actual owners of the team or the people that profit off of the Chicago Bears, the owners. I know the McCaskey family, she just passed away, the daughter of George Halas, and we know the long, wonderful history of the Chicago Bears. But, yeah, you know, I'm actually relieved because I don't want the city of Chicago to have to pay the bill. Now, of course, probably the Cook County taxpayers, we'll see if they sneak it in there. They'll find some way for even us in Chicago to pay for the Bears to leave Chicago. Screw the NFL. That's what I think about the Bears moving to Arlington Heights. I got serious beefs. You know, I have to be consistent. If I'm against Wall Street and Wall Street corporate greed, I have to associate NFL corporate greed, the non-for-profit NFL that can't even fund their own stadiums, and then they do all this PR like they give back to the community when they actually suck money out of the community into the private pockets of the owners. And if the players weren't unionized, they wouldn't even pay the players what they deserve. We know how capitalism works. So hey, let's keep going here. Hey, they got some new plantings here. They got some new plantings here along Columbus. Columbus becomes Fairbanks. Eventually, I guess, when around this area, Grand. Hey, that's a Helman Jan building. That's one of the last residential buildings that Helman Jan designed here. See how you can look back to the St. Regis here. And there we got the light. So we'll head up to past Ohio, and we'll go up to Ontario. Here's Streeterville. Michigan Avenue's that way. We'll eventually cross Michigan Avenue. The reason I'm up here on the lunch, I want to check out see if they're still filming for this Ultraviolet, whatever. It's a show or a movie. I know there was a movie in 2006. I don't know anything about it. I don't think it has anything to do with that, or if it does, it's like a sequel or adaptation for some network show. Does anybody know anything about Ultraviolet filming here? I went to the filming web page there that lists the filming locations, and they confirmed this is Ultraviolet, and that's what they told me yesterday. So Sheridan. Yeah, it's a nice place to be here. I am not a crook. Yeah. That's the famous Frost interviews of Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon said, if the president does it, it's not a crime. Yeah, it's good to be the king, right? But here we'll cross the street here. Here's the Doubletree Hotel. No, I don't think anybody finds racism funny. Hopefully that's a misunderstanding there. We got a friend here in a lunch bunch. Her name's Taco Jalapeno Salsa, and of course we're referring to, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? That's great. I thought somebody was saying my name there. See, look, somebody saw me live streaming here. Isn't that great? So, hey, they're still flying the White Sox flag, even though the White Sox lost miserably to the Detroit Tigers last night. But I guess they got the Cubs flag here. I didn't see they have both. So here's the, Timmy O'Toole's. Timmy O'Toole's is an Irish bar here in Streeterville. If you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're on Fairbanks. It was Columbus. It becomes Fairbanks. We're up in Ontario. We'll make a left. We'll see if we can find any filming going on here. Timmy O'Toole's Sports Bar, Chicago favorite here. Family owned and operated. Yeah, Timmy O'Toole's here. So all the Northwestern hospitals are here. And here, we'll head over towards Michigan Avenue here. We got a lot of wind today, so it's going to be hard to hear me. Thanks for tuning in here. And this is my lunch walk here. I work, so I'm not going to stray too far from the downtown here. I know people will ask me to go here, there, treat me like a horse. I'm used to being treated like an animal on this and other platforms. Hey, Aloft hotels. They're milking us like cows. Hey, look at that. Chez. This building is home to Chez, a contemporary event space. Historic Chez Paris nightclub. Look at that. Lena Horne, Danny Thomas, Louis Armstrong, and Jimmy Duarte. Shown here, Jimmy Duarte with the Adorables dancers, entertainers. This is from the old days in the 50s and 60s in Chicago when they, just like Vegas, they would have the showgirls and they would have the performers. I'm sure you remember Jimmy Duarte. Louis Armstrong, Jimmy Duarte here. So this is the Shea. Now it's the Indian Garden, but this is a historic spot here on Ontario, in between Columbus and St. Clair Street here, Streeterville, Chicago. Left a good job in the city. Yeah, the good old days. Scott, did you see that? Yeah, the old days here in Chicago. They got the windows open here. This is the Aloft Bar here. Ivy Hotel. There's the EMC2 Hotel, EMC Squared. We'll go past the RIU Hotel. Here's Nando's. There's another Nando's. Did I tell you there's Nando's? They got outdoor seating here, Ontario, Streeterville, Chicago. Get your peri peri chicken. Sweet Greens over here. Peoria Charter. Yeah, welcome to Streeterville. 82 degrees, Big City Optical. So I don't see any filming going here. Let's go up to the Allerton Hotel. This all might be for not. Yeah, hey, that's that house that. There is some old single family residential houses here. Imagine building a house that close to Michigan Avenue, not being torn down. Yeah, Jimmy Duarte. Did I say it right? Yeah. Yeah, feel free to block. Come on her faith. You know, I know you think you're joking around here, but it's not. Don't block. Just mute them. Just mute them. You can still watch. If you can't be like responsible with the comment thing there, we will mute you, and you can go somewhere else and make your jokes somewhere else. Here's the St. Clair. Here's the St. Clair Hotel. And so the end of Chicago's down there. That's where they were housing the migrants, but they're now, I don't see as many there. Maybe they still are. I'm not for sure. That doesn't bother me as much as other people. But yeah, here's looking north to the John Hancock. We're waiting for the light here. So Streeterville, St. Clair, and Ontario, Capitol Grill. And as soon as we get the light here, we'll cross. And we'll check out Erie Street and see if they still got the filming trucks up here, but they might not. If not, we'll just tootle around Streeterville. We got 12:15 in the PM here, 82 degrees. I sound like Norm. Yeah, Norm Macdonald. I actually have a spoof where I find something from his comedy album where there's an audio clip there on TikTok where I didn't lip sync the voice but I used his voice over top of my face where you can see my face as a joke. So thanks for getting that there, yeah. But hey, thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, Norm Macdonald. I'm a secret Norm Macdonald TikTok here. You found me out. Yeah, no Bitcoin spam there. Like you're really trying to get people to buy Bitcoin by going to my, well, you know, you must be hard up there. Go out to the real billionaires there. But yeah, all the trucks are gone. So we saw it yesterday. They might have moved across the street. They might have. So here's Erie and St. Clair. Let's go up one more block. Let's go one more block here. We'll go past this all-way stop here. So this is yesterday. There was a bunch of, see how they have this no parking 6364. Today's June the 3rd. So yeah, they have no parking here, but they don't have the equipment trucks. That's okay. So here we'll head up one more block. We'll film this on these wide sidewalks here in Streeterville. Yeah. Feel free to advertise in the comments on my what are you selling? Who everybody's selling there? Yeah, feel free to reach out and touch somebody there. Here, Tall Boy Taco. We were here yesterday. I will head across Michigan. We'll check out the. We'll go by the Harry Potter store there, see what's shaking. Yeah, please feel free to block or mute Canadian grower. I think you've been growing too much there. Not that I'm against that. You know, you can take your own advice there. See, as our audience grows, we attract more assholes. And I'm an asshole too. I call myself an asshole. I'm the asshole in chief. I'm the asshole influencer. If you want to be an asshole like me, just do what I do here. Here's Allerton. So the permit for ultraviolet that we saw filming there, I just posted it to TikTok, was right in this general area here. Here's the H&M there. Yeah, we got good mods there. Yeah, we'll mute them, or you know, if they keep coming back, we'll make it so they never have to see my content again. We'll do them a favor. They won't even have access. They won't be able to view my page or anything, which is great. And that's what they were going for anyway. Hey, it looks like a lot of people's a Harry Potter here. So since we weren't able to film any filming going on here, here's Michigan Avenue. 82 degrees here. We got 1218. Let's head through the Harry Potter store. Let's check it out here and let's see what's... we'll give you a tour of the Harry Potter store at the consolation prize. And we've gone through there before. Let's see, waiting for the left turns here. There, we got the light here, so let's cross here, Michigan Avenue. There's some sirens coming here, so we'll get across the street. Here's Michigan Avenue looking south. Here's Michigan Avenue looking north. The water tower's up there. If we have time, we'll check it out. And there, Harry Potter, one of the 3 Harry Potters I know of. There's one in London, there's one in New York, and there's one here in Chicago, the Harry Potter store here. There's the Patronus stag there. They got all the, see there, all these people taking pictures here. Yeah, let's check it out. Let's go right inside there. How you doing? So I'm wearing my Cubs hat. I was wearing socks yesterday, but the Sox lost, so I switched back to the Cubs, and hopefully they'll be able to beat the Nationals here. How you doing here, Harry Potter? So yeah, look, they got all the clothing you can buy here, all the 4 houses of the Harry Potter franchise here. Look at that. Yeah, Harry Potter store here, Michigan Avenue, Chicago. The air conditioning feels nice. Yeah, you get all your scarf and get your lion, get your keychains. And here, the real deal is the magic wands here. We'll check out the magic wands. Harry Potter store. Look at the nice graphics here. There, the magic wands here. Look at all the magic wands. Look at that. How you doing? That's great. Look at that. Magic wands, the Harry Potter store. Fred Weasley from Slytherin. There's all the 4 houses here. Yeah, that's nice. All the magic wands here at Harry Potter store. See, you can get your, I think they'll cut you a deal there. Yeah, the magic wand. Stop here. Check is in the mail. Only on Tuesdays. Only on Tuesdays. What am I missing here? Good afternoon, One Rare Gemstones. Everybody else here. So here's the flying books. Oh, there they go. Now they're starting to go. I thought the flying books had stopped flying here, but here's the flying books here at Harry Potter store. Oh, it's magic. How do they do that? And you can actually buy the books. There's all the artifacts there. Cardigans, jumpers, robes. You can get a robe. There, you get the Birdie Bots. You get the jelly beans. Spin the wheel. They got fitting rooms in the back, and they got even like jewelry and stuff. They got a whole jewelry counter there. Get your little owl. Oh, get your Harry Potter owl. Yeah, look at this beautiful store here. I'm not going to stay here too much longer. You get an idea what this is about. You can check it out yourself if you're here. And then when you leave here, you get your butterbeer here. And you sit here and yeah. make a whole experience here. Yeah, I don't know. There probably was like some clothing store. There is an abandoned mall in this area, and let's see if I can show it here. We'll head back outside here. So we're in the 600 block of. So it's not here. See where the Zara is? There's an abandoned mall. It used to be one of those urban malls like Water Tower Place or the Nordstrom Mall. And people break in there and they show how horrible Chicago is because there's this abandoned mall on Michigan Avenue. But as you head further up North Michigan Avenue, there's a lot of empty commercial. And this has been going on since the age. Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm Brian Ray, Chicago. How you doing?
I'm Linda from California.
Linda.
How are you?
Hey, thanks for saying hello, Linda. You checking out the Harry Potter store? Or
We are, yeah.
Isn't that nice? I
It
just
is
went
nice.
through there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else? You brought the nice weather here. We finally got the nice weather.
It is
Thanks
nice.
for saying hello.
Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate
All
it.
right.
Have a great time. That's great. Yeah, that's great. See? Hey, friends and neighbors, they're in from California there, so that's great. I thought I heard somebody. See, Linda? Yeah. Yeah, there's already a lot of videos on people going through the abandoned mall there, so, you know, if I get in there, I would love to film it too. I'm not gonna, I'm not going to do it right now. You want me to break in right now on my lunch break while I go back to my corporate job? Yeah, I get what you're saying there. Here, let's head over. We'll go up to the water tower. I'll show you the water tower here, and then we'll head over on Chicago Avenue, and then we'll go down. But I don't see. The only reason I came up here is I thought they were filming for that movie, but we caught it yesterday, so I already posted the clip yesterday, and I guess they got all their scenes done, or they're filming inside here. They were filming inside the Allerton Tip Top Tap Hotel there. But yeah, this 700 North Michigan, this is the abandoned mall. If you search online for the 700 Michigan Avenue abandoned mall here where the Saks Fifth Avenue is, I used to go up there. Was a food court up there with nice views. You could go up there, ride the elevator up, and there were escalators. North Michigan Avenue. We'll head up to the water tower here. I don't know the name of the mall. I don't think I knew the name of the mall when it was open, so I don't know what it's called now. It's closed. I gave you the address, 700 North Michigan. With a little research on your own, you can figure it out, I'm sure. See, we gotta make things a little challenging. I'm not the expert on everything. Actually, I'm not the expert on hardly anything. I'm just a generalist. Here's the Michigan Avenue, Victoria's Secrets. We just went by Tiffany's, and we're heading up to the water tower. But a beautiful 82-degree day here. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, have a nice day. RHYD, how you doing there? Lambie, yeah, thanks for tuning in there. That's great. Carlton, thanks for people watching both TikTok and YouTube. I stream here on YouTube because there's things I can stream on YouTube I can't stream on TikTok, and vice versa. Actually, YouTube's much more forgiving than TikTok. I'm always paranoid about getting banned from TikTok because it's happened before and other people, and it's easy to get. The AI is always giving you violations. And usually you're always confused. You're like, I don't agree with this violation because it was AI, and you're arguing with a robot, which is what the rest of our lives are going to be like, arguing with a robot here. But yeah, we'll film the charity there harassing people here. Here's the water tower here. Here's the John Hancock, and we'll try to cross the street without getting accosted here. Here's the Park Hyatt, and yeah, we'll go over and film the water tower, and then we'll head right down Chicago, and then we'll start heading back. We got 1226, so we can reverse this. And there's the John Hancock. There's the Ritz-Carlton hotels in this, and then there's housing at the top, the water tower. But here's the water tower. It survived the 1871 Great Chicago Fire. This is a long light where I always get caught here waiting for the light. So here's Chicago Avenue, looking west. As soon as these cars turn, we'll head over here. Well, okay, so George Lucas lives at the top. He owns the top 2 floors of this. There was the guy from Citadel Investments sold his unit at the top to George Lucas. Now, I don't know if George Lucas lives here. He owns the top of it. Vince Vaughn used to live in the Playboy building, but he sold his 3 floors. I don't think he lives there anymore. That was a while back. There's Chris Farley used to live in the John Hancock before he died, or when he died, he lived in the John Hancock. And any other famous people I should mention around here. Here's the water tower here. Water Tower, Chicago. See, they got a plaque here. The old water tower. This water tower completed 1869. Second waterworks. 1871 Great Chicago Fire. They did that in 1937. Put that plaque up there. Hey, how you doing there? Yeah. Thanks for tuning in areas other than Chicago. I appreciate people having interest here, just like New York City or other areas of our country there. See, this used to be a horse watering trough when the horse carriages used to go through here. Here's Paul Stewart. And this is the Park Hyatt Hotel residential above. We'll go by Canada Goose here. So here we got 12:28, so I got a half an hour to get back to the office here. It's nice and warm here today. Look at that. Beautiful sunshine. It is a summer's day. Yeah, get out of the house there. It's a small world. Get out of the city. Larry Appleton, you are ridiculous. There, Know Me restaurant overlooks the water tower. You can go right up here, and here's the entrance to the Park Hyatt Chicago Avenue. Nordstrom Rack's over there.
And so, like, they're walking, like,
Yeah, the Windy City. You hear the wind? Yeah, we got some wind today because it's heating up. It's heating up the sidewalks here. Hey, Rush Street. So, a lot of times when I walk home from work, we head up Rush Street. There's Devil Dogs. They used to be Pippins, but they moved Pippins across the street. They moved it over here. Hot town, summer in the city. Hey, good. Thanks for checking out the Wrigley video there. Yeah, we went to Wrigley Field there on Friday. We watched the Reds beat the Cubs there. But I just filmed a little bit walking into the game there with my friend Dave. And hey, they got the outdoor seating. This is a nice block here. Look at the nice, this is an historic building here. We'll show you the plaque once we get to the corner here. But they got outdoor seating, the nice white sidewalks here on Chicago Avenue, in between Rush and State Street in Chicago, 50. There's Streeters. You go to Streeters Tavern, you go down there. And then they got Flacco's Tacos. See how you go up, you go down. Doubles you can sit out here under the trees. Fantasy Nails. And I'll show you there's an historic plaque. Just look at this beautiful building here. We'll show you the whole block here, how nice this looks here on the street. Look at that. Look at this beautiful building here. And then if I show you this plaque right here. See, Benedictine Sisters of Chicago, 1861. Hotel St. Benedict's Flats, 1882 to 83. And Victorian Gothic architectural style. So here, we'll head across the street here real quickly. And then there's the Trump Tower looking south. And here's Chicago. And hey, there's an electric bus, 66, to take you to Navy Pier. There's the One Chicago Tower looking good. And we'll head over to, let's head down Wabash. We'll go down Wabash here. Yeah, this is the, well, let me show you the Holy Name Cathedral here, since we're so close. Benedictine Flats. I don't often show the Holy Name Cathedral here on YouTube. We usually show it on TikTok. Yeah, Stephanie, how you doing there? Greg, Maria, Ruby, Jeremy, yeah, the old buildings. Yeah, thanks for tuning in there. Yeah, the horse-drawn carriage there. Yeah, it was dangerous. You know, people often ask me about that, and there's positive, negatives, to everything. That's what we always say. Where, you know, people enjoyed that, but it came with negatives. And welcome to the world of gray areas, which is the world we live in. Blurred lines. Here's the red line stop here. This is the red line stop on the subway here, Chicago stop. And take you down to 95th, take you north to Howard. You can transfer to the purple, go to Evanston. You can transfer to the blue at block 37 and go to O'Hare. But the red line doesn't go to O'Hare, the blue line does. Here's the old YMCA. This is State Street looking north. Loyola has campus there. We'll cross the street so we can show you the, here's State Street looking south. Here's the One Chicago Tower. This is where Dean O'Banion had his flower shop back in the Prohibition era, and where Jaime Weiss was murdered on the steps of that building. He was the guy that took over the North Side Gang fighting Al Capone after Dean O'Banion, and then eventually fell to Vince Drucci and Bugs Moran. But here's the Holy Name Cathedral, Archdiocese of the Catholic Church here. Here's the Sophia Stake. Hey, they got the flowers here. They got this nice outdoor seating here, right under the One Chicago Tower. That's nice. But here's the, yeah, they changed the black bunting. They had the yellow, the new Chicago Pope. Hey, I hear the new Chicago Pope's going to give an address at Wright Field Sox Park there on June the 14th, I think. Is that correct? But it's going to be a telecast. He's not going to be there in person. He's just going to be on the digital screen there. Ryan. Hey, how you doing there? Thanks for saying hello. Holy Name Cathedral. Hey, friends and neighbors there. But look at the One Chicago Tower. It's just under 1,000 feet tall. It's residential. This is residential. Here, we'll cross the street here. We'll show you the side of the Holy Name Cathedral. And we got videos where we go inside there. Message me if you want to see inside. I don't know. I'm not going to take the time today because, well, what time we got? 12:33. I'll just peep in here. I'll take off my hat. And I'll be respectfully show you how beautiful the inside of this church is here, the Holy Name Cathedral. We've done this before. And I'm not trying to promote one religion over the other. This is a historically significant building for multiple reasons. And here we'll show it to you. Hey, the Holy Name Cathedral. See how it's right across the street from the One Chicago Tower. State Street just south of Chicago Avenue. You can't miss it. And the new Chicago Pope there. So, hey.
Greatest church in the world.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. The Holy Name Cathedral. Yeah, see, there you go. There's good testimonial right there. There he is, Pope Leo the 14th. Chicago-born, family known. So here we'll head across and we'll show you the facade here. I got 6 seconds to get across. Just joined our Superior in Chicago. We got wind. We just checked out the inside of the Holy Name. I'm not Catholic. I'm not doing this to promote one religion over the other. I just, the historic nature. And we walk by that all the time there. So I know there's much interest in the Chicago Pope, even if you're Catholic or not. Like I said, he's going to give an address to Sox fans there at. And the Pope is a Sox fan, I assume. Grew up a Sox fan. They got footage of him at the 2005 World Series there at the new Comiskey. Holy moly, did you see that, Scott? Yeah, thanks for hitting the like there. One rare gemstone. Yeah, did you see that, Christopher and everybody else? There's always something to see. And hey, we got good news about Anita. Anita messaged me before the live stream. Her father is out of the hospital. That's good news. Anita's father suffered a stroke. I know a lot of you have been praying for her. It's working. He's slowly making progress. Strokes, he still has a lot of therapy, and like she said, she's on the long road to recovery, but I'm sure he's glad to be. It's always progress, just like what Chris went through. Once you get out of the hospital, you really, then you start the long road to recovery. And Chris did it. I think Anita's father's going to do it too. And thanks, Anita, for the update. Thanks, everybody, for your thoughts and prayers for Anita's father, who suffered a stroke. And it was pretty bad there for a while, but it looks much better now. And I'm sure she'll keep us updated on his recovery. So here we'll head, you just joined, we're in Chicago. We're heading south on Wabash. That tall building in the background, that's the Trump Tower. We're heading towards it. We're going to head back to the office. We got 1237, and we'll head by St. James. We've gone inside St. James. St. James is Episcopalian. We've gone in, since we went in one church, y'all, it looks like it's under construction anyway. We'll wait till they're finished with the construction there. But here, we'll show you. And then this, from what I understand, the bell tower was severely damaged, but some of the bell tower survived the Great Chicago Fire. But they had to, of course, the roof was destroyed, and they had to rebuild the church here, St. James Cathedral. Same with the Holy Name Cathedral, and that's why they call this the Cathedral District here in Chicago. Thanks for tuning in. How's everybody doing here? Hey, we got 144 people. Yeah, I'm not a foodie. I know everybody wants to know food stuff. What are we missing there? Yeah, favorite foods? Yeah. I like the variety. I mean, like this morning. Look. For example, this is not my favorite move by any means. I just list this as an example. Within 2 to 3 blocks there, walking to work this morning, people said there's no diversity on the north side. You know, I'm walking to work there through the near north. Within a 3 block area there on Orleans Street, we passed a Pakistani, Indian, South Asian. We passed Yemeni cuisine. We passed Nepalese from Nepal. You know, it was great, the amount of Somali. There was a Somalian restaurant right on there. So right there, and of course, the car, they're honking. It always makes me nervous when they honk, because then people. Here's the Cable House here, 25 East Erie. Look at this Richardsonian Romanesque. And here, I'll show you the courtyard here on the side. A true Gilded Age mansion here. I think the Driehaus Foundation owns this. And maybe you could set up tours, but when the Driehaus Museum is catty corner, we'll show it to you when we spin around. Hey, walking the dog here. So we just joined here. We're on Erie Street. Hey, they got the fountain on here. So here it is. The Ransom R. Cable House. Cobb and Frost. Ives Cobb. Let's see if we can get this inside here. Look at this beautiful Gilded Age courtyard. This Richardsonian Romanesque building, and I'll read you the plaque here as we look. Designed in the Richardsonian Romanesque style and an eminent architectural partnership, this house was built for the president of the Chicago, Rock Island, and Pacific Railway. And it's one of the few remaining structures that illustrate the original elite residential character of the area just west of North Michigan Avenue. And it's on the National Historic Register. It was built for Cable, who was a railroad baron. He sold it to the McCormicks. The McCormicks bought it. They probably added all these statues and stuff. And here it is. And it still exists today. The Driehaus Foundation owns it. Those were residential buildings there. Look at this fountain. Yeah, I go by Union Station. I got reruns if you want. We go by Union Station. We went there after the May Day parade there. If you find the May Day parade there, May 1st, when I hung out with Drew. If you go towards the end there, we took a peek in there. There was somebody streaming from there last night. We got many other Chicago live streamers, which is great. There's the John Hancock Park Hyatt. There's this residential here. We'll head across Wabash here, and we'll head back to her work. Here's the Trump building. And yeah, the Driehaus Museum here. They don't let me film in there. Otherwise, I would have already filmed in there. Especially the Murphy Memorial, because it's beautiful. We'll try to get in there someday. We can take still photography. I can do still photography and make a TikTok that way. But you know me, we like to stream here. Yeah, marvelous architecture. Yeah, so you mean the ones on the rooftop? I think there's real plants on the rooftops there, rooftop gardens. Everything's fake. News is fake. Our government's fake. The tariffs are fake. It's all a negotiating tactic. The stock market's fake. Our money's fake. Our money's based on debt. I'm fake. You're fake. We're all fake. Everything's fake, fake, fake. Fake trees, fake news, fake fakeness. Here, look at the Bally's. There's the Bally's fake casino. It's the temporary casino. This was the Medina Auditorium building here, the Medina Temple Auditorium here, built by the Shriners. And here's Due's. There's Sukasa. There's Due's, which is Uno's, and then there's Due's. And these are Chicago-style pizza joints here. Man, everybody, we'll keep going here. Yeah, look at this residential building. Again, this used to be the elite residential area that they were speaking of. Some of these last remaining buildings, like Uno's Pizzeria, are the last standing houses from when this was a residential area before the density changed. But here's the Bally's Temporary Casino. See how it says Medina, the Medina Temple Auditorium here. And again, there used to be a auditorium in there. It was really acoustically superior, and the Shriners Circus used to perform there. People tell me they remember seeing the Shriners Circus there. Then it became a furniture store. It was the Bloomingdale's Furniture Store, and then it was vacant. And then the casino took it and it's using it until they build a new casino, which is currently under construction. I think construction was halted, but here's Italy. We've gone in there before. Italy, it's a Italian grocery here. They got them in other cities. There's Uno's. Uno's Chicago-style pizza. People often ask me about Chicago-style pizza. You go to Uno's. There's the original one, established 1943. And the guy that started it was from Texas. But Rudy Minotti is associated with it. The father of Lou Minotti. There's a woman that's associated with the recipe, and you can research it. And here's the back of the Trump Tower here. So we'll get back to Michigan Avenue. We'll cross back over to Michigan Avenue, and then we'll head back to work here. So hey, thanks for coming along. I tried to, the main reason I came up here was to see if they were still filming. They weren't still filming for the Ultraviolet. They were filming last night, so we got the footage on TikTok. You can watch the rerun of the filming trucks and things here. I want to get across the street here before the light changes. Here's the Nordstrom. So here, let's head through the Nordstrom. I'll show how you can get to Michigan Avenue by cutting through the Nordstrom, or how you do it. And we'll go through, I call this the Nordstrom Mall. I might lose my connection. Sometimes we lose our connection when we walk through here, but mods, you know what to do. I'll keep walking until we get it back. I usually lose it when we're in that transition area over top of Rush Street. Hey, thanks everybody for your comments here. Yeah, fake. Illuminati. It's all an illusion. It's all a vast simulation. We're living in the Matrix. Here's Prada. We'll see if the devil's here. But here, this is the Nordstrom Mall here. It's good to get in the air conditioning here. And I got, we'll head through Louis Vuitton. These are little subs. You can find a lot of the stuff you can find on Oak Street. You can find right in here, Louis Vuitton. Gucci, they got Gucci, St. Laurent. We'll go past the shoes and the makeup counter here. Hey, who's that good-looking guy? Somebody once told me, they said, hey, you look exactly like my brother. I said, hey, he's a good-looking guy. And they said, ah, you're pretty funny there. But here, look at these shoes. See, Brian, really, Chicago's taking you shoe shopping here. You get your sandals. Yeah, you got makeup. Yeah, you go to the makeup counter here. Look at this. Yeah. Oh, the makeup counter here. Oops, I'm heading the wrong way. We got Dolce & Gabbana here. Yeah, look at all the beautiful makeup counters here. Dior, moisturizer, Chanel. Yeah. Get some lipstick. There, Armani. But hey, if you just joined, we're in the Nordstrom Mall here. We're heading back to Michigan Avenue. This is usually where I lose my connection. You see how they kept some of these Art Deco concrete panels And they redid, they totally tore down this building and redid it when they did the Gwynn Hotel. And then they reattached the original Art Deco facade, which those are some of the pieces of it. And you can see it from Michigan Avenue, but they didn't replace all of them. And here's the 4-level Nordstrom Mall in Chicago. There's a food court at the top. I got to get back to work here, so we got 12:49. Cinderella slippers, great design. Yeah, see how it ramps down, takes you right down. And there's more food court. You go down, there's hotel, restaurants, and shops if you go down there. And remember, probably because Michigan Avenue was probably overbuilt with malls. They probably built way too many malls in the 90s and 2000s. And that's why there's vacant ones, because there's just too many malls built in one area with expensive, nowhere to park. And people don't shop this way anymore because of online shopping. But they still do. They still do. It's just not as much. So you can get up. They got this nice, and we're actually above Grand Avenue. We're actually above the street here. So here, thanks for checking out the Nordstrom Mall here. We'll head right out. And we'll go back to the heat. We'll go back into the heat. See, now it's hot. Michigan Avenue. See, we're right across from the Intercontinental Hotel and the Tribune Tower. There it is, the Nordstrom Mall, 520. That's what we just went through. Remember, we pass this all the time walking to work here. So thanks for tuning in, Lunch Bunch. Here, the Chicago Landmark, McGraw Hill Building, 1928-29 here. That's what we just walked through. But they tore it down and they rebuilt it. So at least they preserved the historic facade to keep that plaque. Windy City Thread, Dayton Watch there. How you doing? Are you Church of Scientology? Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we filmed the Church of Scientology down there on Clark Street when it opened. I know it moved from, it was on Lincoln Avenue there across from the Lincoln Tap Room, but they've got a nice new location there on South Loop. Here's the, this is the Tribune Tower. This is the Intercontinental Hotel. Used to be the Medina Athletic Association. You can go down to Billy Goat's. Actually, the one across from the Tribune is the better one to go down to get to Billy Goat's. We did that yesterday morning. Yeah. Scotland, how you doing there, Ronnie? Let's see. Money for nothing, chicks for free. So it's 82 degrees. We got 82 degrees, or maybe 85. It feels warmer today than it did yesterday. The heat's starting to build up, but it's going to cool down. The rain's coming tomorrow. So if you like it hot, get out there and enjoy today. We had 2 hot days in a row here, which is pretty good for the beginning of June here. There, people waiting to get in the coach here. Michigan Avenue. We're down by the Chicago River here, so I'm heading back to work. Yeah. The rocks in the Tribune Tower. Yeah, there's a bunch of rocks in the building. I'm on the wrong side of the street here, so yeah, we got other videos where you could see on the bottom, they got from all over buildings all over. Like, they probably got some from Scotland. Here, let's see if we can get the light here. We can cross the street, I'll show it to you. So if you want to get the Billy Goats, you go down there, you go to Billy Goats. Here, I'll just show it here, because we're waiting for the light to change here. World famous Billy Goats. I'll just peep and show you. See, this is the lower level, lower Michigan. There you go to Billy Goat's Tavern. I smell it. It smells great. But I got to get back to work here. I'm trying to get back to work by 1 o'clock. So we'll run across the street here and I'll show you the rocks in the bottom of the... Yeah, we got the light here. So that's why we'll cross right Michigan Avenue in front of the Tribune. I'll show you some of the rocks they got inside the, the building here. Hey, look at the beautiful... So this is all residential. This used to be the newspaper, the Tribune, and the WGN radio and everything. And see how right within the building here, they got some from Jerusalem, Manila, Paris, Notre Dame. Here's Wrigley Field, Ancient Temple, China. Dublin, the old General Post Office in Dublin. There, Stockholm, Sweden, Germany, Manila, the Parthenon. They got all these. They took rocks. Here, Scotland. Edinburgh Castle, Scotland. We stole that from the Edinburgh Castle. We stuck that in the Tribune Tower here. Westminster Abbey. They got stuff from Massachusetts, Denmark, Great Wall of China, Berlin, Norway, Alamo. This is from the Alamo. We stole that from Texas. Comiskey. Here's a brick from Comiskey. So we got both Wrigley and Comiskey. And they're putting a German watchmaker with the WGN radio broadcast booth. Hey, Christopher, there's the big bus. I saw you guys took the big bus when you were here in Chicago. Or you took one of the buses. I guess there's a few companies there. But here, yeah, the Scottish Castle. Did you see that? Windy City Wanderers. You saw that. Isn't that great? I hope our friends from Scotland there. Thanks for tuning in there. So here's the Wrigley building. I'm getting hot here. It'd be nice to get back in air conditioning here. Yeah, no Coke or Pepsi, no chips or fries, no fries or chips, no Coke or Pepsi. Cheeseburger. Go to the Billy Goats there. They put the curse on the Cubs, and it lasted till 2016 because in the 40s, around World War II, the guy used to bring his goat to the game. It was like an early form of viral marketing. The goat like advertised his business, and the heirs of the Wrigley fortune there, they said, "You're banned. You can't bring your goat," because I think the goat like was eating somebody's beard or something. And so he put a curse on the Cubs. And the Cubs didn't win the World Series until 2016. It was called the Curse of the Goat, and it came from Billy Goat's Tavern there. You go underneath that building there where Bob Newhart used to work. Here's Jean-Baptiste Point de Sable. There's Joliet Marquette, Native Americans. And we'll cross the Chicago River, 1253. And if I walk over towards the Centennial Fountain, we might be able to get it twice in the same video. We will get the beginning and the end every hour on the hour. They shoot that water cannon there. And so we got a little time here as we head across. There's some kayakers there. Look at that. There's some kayakers. There's the Trump Tower. There's the Wrigley building. And there's the Riverwalk that way. Yeah, shorts and tank top and sandals weather. You got it there. Yeah, check out my page there. I'm on TikTok and YouTube. Thanks for tuning in here. If you like to see Chicago, I'm not the only person. There's so many great Chicago historians there. People were forwarding me some of their amazing videos. They were showing the Clark House and all kinds of history about Chicago and Pilsen, and it was great. But I work for an architecture engineering firm, so usually I just walk at lunch here. I do how far I can get in an hour and get back to the office. We've even taken the train a few times, but I'm so cheap. I don't even want to waste money on taking the train. $250 transit fare. There's Fannie Mae, the Blackhawk store. So we got 1254. Deja vu all over again. Remember when we were here at the beginning of the live? You can rewind it. We'll head over here and we'll catch the Centennial Fountain here. We got 5 minutes to get over there. We'll head towards Columbus. And then I'll just head back to work after that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we've done bike riding. Yeah, I can ride the bike on YouTube. That's another advantage of being on YouTube. TikTok, you can't stream when you're riding a bike. You get a violation. If the AI senses at all you're interacting with the comments. And even if you're not interacting with the comments, it'll find a reason to think you are, because it's AI, and that's what AI does. It makes stupid mistakes. So I know it's going to change the world, but it's going to be positive and negatives to it, like any other technology. And they'll just make vast fortunes for small numbers of people. We used to be called the second city before LA exceeded us in population, but we still have the second largest central business district collection of skyscrapers, but we're no means as large as New York. But there's LA's skyline no way rivals Chicago. It's much smaller. Probably Seattle or Miami, Florida's skyline is larger than LA's, not by height but by number of buildings. And there's other areas. Honolulu has a lot of high rises, but they're capped. They can't go above a certain height in Honolulu, but Honolulu has a lot of high rises as well. See, there's the John Hancock. Remember when we went up to St. Clair, we were looking at that. There's the Wrigley building. The reason I'm back here, we'll see if we get the Centennial Fountain here, 1256. We'll see if we can catch it. When it starts, we'll get closer to it. We'll get over to the Columbus Bridge here. Yeah, Christopher, you saw the divvy bikes, yeah. Well, you guys check out Christopher Dotson's page here. Christopher Dotson's a live streamer from Chicago, or from New York who visited Chicago, Christopher Dotson's from the streams in New York, check out his page regardless for New York content. But when they were in Chicago, you saw a lot of stuff. He produced a lot of videos, nighttime, riding the bus, taking the train. Here comes my car. Here, you get the car out, get the convertible out. Sounds like a scuba diving there. Yeah, 400 North Lakeshore. So they're up to 25 stories. We'll head by there probably later this week. We'll get over there. We didn't get over there today because I was trying to check out this filming location, but it was all for naught. But here's the Sheridan. There you can see back to the John Hancock in between the Optimus signature. We got 12:57, so I'll try to get down to Columbus and before this water cannon starts here, and we'll film the beginning. But I won't stay for the whole 5 minutes it's on. I got to get back to work. That's how I'll win the live. Once the water jet is there, I'll do my goodbyes. But hey, we saw a lot of stuff today. We saw the Harry Potter store. If you missed any of this, you can rewind it. That's the great thing about YouTube Lives, is you can rewind it and check it out there. And we saw the water tower. We saw the inside of the Holy Name Cathedral. We saw the cable house. And we went through the Nordstrom Mall. So if you like any of that stuff, you can check out the reruns if you missed it. There's the Aeon, one of the tallest buildings in Chicago. There goes the bus. And here we're at 12:58. So instead of heading down to Columbus, I'll stay up high here, and we'll keep walking, and I'll keep that Centennial Fountain in focus. When we get to 12:59, start the countdown to see if it 60 seconds, we'll see the beginning of the water jet shoot across the Chicago River on a nice 82-degree June the 3rd day here, 2025. We got 12:59. Yeah, we'll head over here to the Centennial Fountain here. Yeah, feel free to stop by there. Yeah, check out Christopher Dotson's channel there. You got the premiere, 2 p.m. New York City time. You'll be showing the Navy Pier fireworks. Thanks, Christopher. Yeah, see, so Christopher was able to film the Navy Pier fireworks. That's better than I was able to do. So check out his page, 2 p.m. He'll be premiering it. Check it out. And I'm happy to promote Christopher's content there because he does such a great job. And I want to see a New Yorker's perspective of Chicago. And that's what we need. Not just me, somebody that's lived here for 26 years. Of course, I'm going to promote the city. But, you know. And we see people from Compton, California, tootling around here. We saw somebody else from California today. There goes the water cannon. There it is. Christopher, there it is. See, there's the water cannon, the water jet shooting across there. The Centennial Fountain here. We made it. Yeah, we'll see if this boat goes underneath it here. I'll stick around. Usually, sometimes when it's warm, the boats want to go through there. The people want to get wet because it's hot. So here, we'll film the Centennial Fountain. How you doing? I'll stop here. And there it is. See this water cannon there? There's the jet going across the river there. How you doing? Appreciate it. How you doing there? Yeah, how you doing? That's good. There was a dog walking by. That's great. So here's the Centennial Fountain. You see Navy Pier in the background. You see the Ferris wheel for Navy Pier. And this happens during the day, and eventually they shut it off at night, but every hour, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock through the afternoon, on the hour, they shoot it off for about 5 minutes. And this is the Water Reclamation District of Greater Chicago Fountain, commemorating the reversal of the Chicago River and all they went through. See, look, I think it's slowing down. It's not going to go through there. They're going to turn sideways so people can take pictures. You saw that, Christopher? Yeah, I'm glad you saw this. Yeah, here's the Centennial Fountain. So they're not going to go through there. So, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for your attention there. We'll head back to work. Have a great day. Thanks for checking out Chicago. We'll do this again. If it's raining tomorrow, I'll send a message. If we don't do the lunch walk tomorrow because of rain, it might rain tomorrow. So we'll keep you posted. I don't know if I'm working from home or working from downtown tomorrow. So take care. Enjoy this beautiful day. Thanks to my mods. I couldn't do it without you. And we'll see you on TikTok. 5 o'clock tonight for the walk home. See, yeah, the boat's just turning sideways. It's not going to go through there. Hey, thanks everybody. We'll see you later. And check out Christopher Dotson. He's going to post that Navy Pier fireworks at 2 p.m. there. And check out Ernie. Ernie's got some fireworks. Check out Ernie's page there. Chicago Nuggies. Good. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot.